If you are planning to buy Lenovo LOQ with an RTX 4050 for AI and machine learning, the big question isn't the gaming performance. It's whether this laptop has enough GPU power, VRAM or memory capacity to handle the kind of machine learning workload you will actually work on. And the interesting part is that the answer has very little to do with the RTX 4050 itself. Because two students can buy the exact same laptop, use it for exact same course and have completely different experience with it. Why? We will get to that. But first, let's have a look at what the Lenovo LOQ is actually offering on paper. Baseline configuration most students end up buying comes with an Intel Core i5-13450HX, a 10-core 16-thread processor, 16GB of RAM, a 512GB of SSD, and an RTX 4050 running at up to 125 watts of TGP. On paper, that's a strong combination for the price. A 16GB of RAM is enough to get started with coursework and smaller projects. The 512GB SSD is where many students run into their first practical limitation. Between Python environments, datasets, libraries, Docker containers, storage disappears much faster than most people expect. Then there's the RTX 4050. A lot of reviewers focus on the fact that Lenovo let it run up to 125 of TGP, which sounds impressive. But in AI and machine learning, raw GPU power is only the part of the story. To understand why, let's look at the benchmarks most reviewers use to evaluate the performance of this laptop. If you look at the Geekbench AI Direct ML scores, this laptop hits right around 25,000. For generative AI, running a stable diffusion 1.5 benchmark, it pushes roughly to 3 to 4 iterations per second. For natural language processing or NLP, running an 8 billion parameter language model like the Llama 3 at 4-bit quantization, you are looking at around 30 to 40 tokens per second. If you read these numbers on a tech review, they sound fantastic. It's like you are buying a portable supercomputer. But here's the actual student translation. Listen closely because this is the golden rule for a machine learning student that nobody tells you until it's too late. Your laptop's job is not to train the next GPT. Out in real world, nobody trains the massive models on a laptop. They rent cloud GPUs on AWS or Google Colab. Your laptop is just a prototyping engine. It's your sandbox. It's where you write code, test scripts, and make sure the logic works before paying an hourly fee for a cloud server. So let's take those computer vision and stable diffusion benchmark we talked about earlier. A Geekbench AI score of 25,000 means you can easily run real-time object detection or classic CNN architecture like ResNet locally without any problem. And 3 to 4 iterations per second in stable diffusion means you can generate a base 512 by 512 image in about 50 seconds. And because you get up to 40 tokens per second, the LOQ can actually run compressed 7 to 8 billion parameters model beautifully. So when you take natural language processing, you will probably build projects like the document chatbots, text classifier, sentiment analysis, and simple language model applications. The RTX 4050 can handle most of these student projects comfortably because you will usually working with pre-trained models rather than training massive models from scratch. If you want to learn prompt engineering, build RAG applications, create chatbot, train coursework models, or experiment with the open source AI, you are completely good to go. But this is where the expectation matters. The RTX 4050's 6GB of VRAM doesn't stop you from working with AI. It simply determines how comfortably you can work with larger models. Can you run models larger than 8 billion parameters? Sometimes yes. With quantizations and other optimizations, you can often make larger models fit. The question is whether you will want to. Because as model gets larger, you start making trade-offs in speed, context length, memory usage, and overall convenience. That's why I view the RTX 4050 as a student development GPU rather than the local AI powerhouse. It's excellent for learning, building prototypes, experimenting with the models, and handling the workloads most students encounter during their degree. But if your workflow revolves around larger models or more demanding fine-tuning workloads, cloud GPUs will eventually become the part of your picture. Now here's the marketing trap. Those synthetic numbers only really matter for one specific class, hardware optimization. But in advanced machine learning, you learn how to make models run faster using NVIDIA's CUDA toolkits or TensorRT. And because this LOQ has most of the NVIDIA's framework architecture, it fully supports all of the cool stuff like 8-bit or 4-bit quantization. Now we can answer the question we started with. How can two students buy the exact same Lenovo LOQ and have completely different experience with it? Because the term AI and machine learning covers enormous range of workloads. If you're working on a coursework, data analysis, classical machine learning, computer vision projects, neural network taught in the college, or experimenting with small open source models, the RTX 4050 is genuinely capable. In fact, most students will never fully utilize what the RTX 4050 can actually do. Where things start to change is when your workflow depends on fitting larger models into the VRAM. And that's when the 6GB limit becomes something you actively have to work around. You might need smaller batch sizes, quantized models, gradient checkpointing, cloud GPUs, or other optimizations that students with more VRAM simply don't think about. So the difference isn't that one student bought the wrong laptop, it's that they end up pursuing the different kinds of AI projects. And whether the Lenovo LOQ feels amazing or restrictive, depends largely on what kind of path you end up taking. So should you buy the Lenovo LOQ for the AI degree? Honestly, yes. As long as you know you are buying a development playground, it's a great starting point for this time. Now before you head out and buy this laptop, here's a critical warning. Manufacturers love selling completely different configurations under the same laptop name. You think you are buying a high performance laptop we analyzed in this video and end up with a weaker GPU, smaller battery life and soldered components. So to make things effortless, I verified the exact model I talked about in this video. So you can find the link down below in the description box. And if Lenovo LOQ is beyond your budget, I put together a video on the best laptop for machine learning. You can watch that video by clicking over here, or you can find the links down below in the description box. I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment down below and tell me what laptop you want me to analyze next. And if you are interested in AI, machine learning and laptop buying guides, make sure you do subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any upcoming videos. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome and I will see you in the next one.